Welcome everybody to the latest Judgement stream. My name's Andrew Guns Galea. Today I'm here to reveal Asbrand, the Dwarf King, and the second Bruelin Avatar. Very exciting when a new hero comes out, particularly this one I'm very, just personally very excited about. Been working on him for a very long time with the team. He's got a unique model that we're going to share, which is quite cool. And another great dwarf to add to the table. And of course, this is the first hero we've released since we've had tribes. So not only is he the Bruelin Avatar, he obviously adds another dimension, another option to the dwarf tribe, which is also super exciting. So as you can see behind me, I've got the illustration. In fact, I'm showing the model straight away. This is the illustration of Asbrand. Yeah, really good. We've spent a lot of time trying to get the look and feel right of a Dwarf King. And as I said earlier, his model has got something unique about him that's going to look really cool. So, yep, there is his illustration. And then I'm going to go through today both the illustration and all the rules. He'll be live on the Hall of Eternal Champions a few minutes after the stream. Should be available on the stores within a couple of days, I think. Wednesday, I think it is, in the North America that time. So yeah, be able to buy him. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I'll just check, make sure I've got any chats. I hate it. He looks sick. Yeah, he does. Yeah, so here's the model. And the model, as you can see, you've got very similar to illustration, which is something that we always wanted to do. He's in a great pose, holding his hammer back with his shield, rallying the troops. He's got a lot of rules that feed into the model as well, which is awesome. And if you want to see a painted version of him, that's the painted version. There's some pro painters who are close to the Creature Caster studio, and they've churned this one out. I mean, I've always played dwarves and orcs all through fantasy, all different games I've played, and including Dungeons and Dragons and things like that. So to me, I look at him and I see it's a throwback, really traditional kind of dwarf. Yeah, he looks so cool. He's one of the best dwarf models. I'm biased, but one of the dwarf models I've seen. I'm really happy with him. Now, I mentioned earlier that he has a very unique part of his model, which I haven't shared yet. So when Asbrand goes to live to retail, you can buy this model. It comes with 2 tokens, which I'll show in a minute. But we've also, because he's a king, and to be fitting of the king, we've created a throne that he can sit on. So it's the right size to have the model on it. It has no impact in the game, the model. And the throne, we won't be selling it with the model. We're actually going to save the throne model to be special occasions, winners of the grand tournaments, select tournaments that we choose, at specific cons. So there's no advantage having the throne in the game. His rules are built in with the thought of being on a throne. But he comes with it. You can get a throne for him, which is absolutely amazing. It's his normal size base. We spent a lot of time trying to get that right, and that's the throne on its own. So he comes detached from the throne, and you can put him on. It's got 2 dwarfs pushing the throne along. This is another thing that's a throwback to, you know, all kinds of dwarfs and from other, you know, from just fantasy genre. Having the Dwarf King on a throne is pretty sick. There's a painted version of him on the throne, which looks awesome. Yeah, so it's pretty exciting. Can't wait to see him on the table. He's great in both forms. I mean, the model itself is amazing, but with the throne, it's going to be quite cool. So pretty pumped about that. He's yeah, just it took so long to work out if we're going to bring a Dwarf King into the game. And for those who have been around for a long time in Judgement, we've been throwing up the Dwarf King Asbrand rules for a very long time. I've got a feeling he may have either been late. No, it would have been early V2. I think it wasn't. I don't think it was V1, but his rules have been around for a very long time, just kind of in different formats. But we're really happy where he's landed. So super pumped for him. Pretty sure everyone's going to enjoy it. And then we've got, if I go to the next one, we've got there his two tokens. So 2 of his abilities are Bestow and Righteous Might. The R stands for Righteous Might. So I'm going to go through for his rules now. As I mentioned earlier, he is the Bruelin Avatar. So that's another. It's the 3rd god that has got a second Avatar. So he sits alongside Zonya on that one. So, and we're like, so now you got a choice. And you never knows how dual avatars work. You can take both in your 7. You can have both in your 5. Just after pick and ban, you need to choose, if you've got both in your 5, which hero is going to be your avatar for that game. And they're the only ones that gain the benefit of their avatar bonus. And they're the only ones that give a fate like honor when they get killed after the bonus is called. All right, so let me just check if there's any chats or questions. No, everyone seems pretty happy with the model, which is great. All right, let's go through his rules. Let me just open them up as well so I can look here and not look back. Okay, so his first card, Asbrand. He's a Dwarf King. He's a movement 2, agi 3, res 2. Mel and RNG are both 7, so he is a ranged option, which is good. He does both for Bruelin, which is really good. And obviously, of course, don't forget, he's also part of the Dwarf tribe. Big health, as you expect, 18, 20, 22, so right up there. Something similar to Thrommel. Soul Harvest 3, which is pretty standard. He's got 2 weapons. He's got a hammer, which is a melee attack, which is a reach 1, 2, 3, 4. His hammer throw is 1 AP RNG, and it's reach 4, 2, 3, 4. So he's both good with both. But starting with RAG 7, he obviously can aim at 8, and he's got a combat maneuver tied to it as well. Common innate abilities, dash, as all dwarfs. Defender, he's a defender. So him and Thrommel can play together, but they can't help each other with their defender abilities. Honor, and he's steady. Steady, like I said, there's rules built in here with the thought of the throne, him being on the throne. So whether you have the throne or not in the game, let me reiterate, makes no difference to the rules. But we've embedded rules into him that, assume he's riding to battle on his throne. So Honor Guard is an interesting one. So because he's a Dwarf King, Asbrand has a lot of synergies with dwarfs, right? So he's going to be another great addition. Along with Laurie Bella, we've got a lot of heroes that are very good synergies with dwarfs in the dwarf one. Asbrand's one of those, but he also can choose, for people who aren't playing him in the tribe and playing him in Bruelin, he's got Honor Guard. At the start of the game and after deployment, you choose a friendly non-dwarf hero model and declare them as the Honor Guard. Essentially what that means is that model is treated as a dwarf for Asbrand's rules, and we get into that a bit later. King's Aura, innate ability, while within 2 hexes, other friendly dwarf models or the Honor Guard gain unerring accuracy. It's the first Honor Guard rule. So dwarfs around him get unerring accuracy. Synergizes very well. If he's already in combat and you throw Thrommel in, he gets a reroll. If you're sitting at the back and you're playing him as arranged, he can help Zaffin with the reroll. Opens up all kinds of things with Laurie Bella's gun. She's now getting a free reroll to try to trigger her second attack. So it's pretty good. Save the King, another cool one. While Asbrand is below half his max base health, other friendly models gain +1 attack die when targeting enemies adjacent to Asbrand. This version up here, we're going to break this sentence up to get rid of if there's any not clear, but other friendly dwarf models and the Honor Guard gain +1 damage. So basically, if Asbrand's below his half his max base health at the time, other models get +1 to hit enemies who are adjacent to Asbrand. If they're dwarves or the Honor Guard, they get +1 to hit and +1 damage. So pretty cool. Like he's got res 2, so he is tough getting back to a lot of health. But if you get him to half health, there's a lot of the things you can do here, right? Like you can partner him with Zyvera, for example. She can cut him for 5, which can get him below that max half, and all of a sudden everyone's +1 attack dice, and dwarfs and Honor Guard are +1 attack dice and +1 damage going to him. So it can really ramp up. Some really nice synergies around Save the King. All right, Bull Rush. This is another one that is flavoursome being on a big throne. So it's a 2S combat maneuver. Enemy damaged by a hammer attack from a charge action. You need to charge him. You can knock them down on a 2S. Enemies adjacent to Asbrand also suffer knockdown on a 4+. Add +1 to die roll for each level Asbrand has gained. Roll individually for each model. So this is him charging into combat on his throne, knocking them down. Everyone around can get knocked down as well. If he's level 3 doing this, it's pretty brutal. So that's his face card. A lot of good standard dwarf stats. A lot of synergies with dwarfs is what you expect. He's also he's just good all round. Like with the Honor Guard, it really opens him up. So if you have one or two other dwarves in a Bruelin and you have a bunch of his honor guard can really smooth out. And if you can just have the honor guard and dwarves around him, he can really excel. So that's him. Face card. Now, card 2. Let me just go to there now. Let's go put this next. Boom, that should be making sure that's showing. It is. All right, now, level 2. Oh no, still going. Headshot. So this is a 2S combat maneuver on his hammer throw. Enemy damaged by hammer throw attack suffers stun. If a J was rolled and the enemy was damaged, the model suffers knockdown or stun. Active player chooses. So the good thing about this is a few models who have this today. I think Maltique has it with pin and so basically the first time you do it, you can choose. If it's just 2S, you choose stun. If you do it with a J, you can choose both. So you can apply both if you get really lucky. But yeah, as I said though, he's R&D 7 base, so aiming at 8. This is not that difficult to trigger, which is awesome. Bestow 1 AP. Target friendly non-defender model within 2 hexes gains +1 to their Mel, RNG, Maj, or Agi. You just choose one of them and expires at the end of the model's next activation. This is really powerful. So there's never a real dead activation with Asbrand. If you've got nothing else to do, you can just chuck this on another model. It just can really ramp up or help in the defense or whatever. Huge synergies with this one. Obviously non-defender, because this is essentially like his defender ability. Homebound, another defender ability. Target other friendly model within 2 hexes is placed adjacent to their effigy and outside their deployment zone. It's 1 AP, 1 F. You can just get a model out of trouble. It's really, once again, quite strong ability. That's his level 1, and that's his fade ability at level 1. So really good kit, pretty diverse, good for melee and for range. Can help, awesome abilities to help models, either ramp them up, give them defense, or get them out of trouble. So it's quite cool. All right, King's Boon, level 2, innate ability. At the start of Asbrand's activation, remove 1 condition from a target other friendly model within 2 hexes of Asbrand. If the chosen model is a dwarf or the honor guard, all conditions are removed. This is an innate, automatic. So if someone's around him, you can stand them up, remove poison, whatever it is, or burn, which is super cool. It's other models, he can't do it to himself, unfortunately, but that was a bit too much in playtest. So yeah, so really strong. Once again, the honor guard and the dwarfs get an extra bonus. Now this is where he really shines. If you can get into level 3, Righteous Might. 1 Fate abilities active. Models do not gain attribute bonuses from magical artifacts while reserving attacks against Asbrand or being attacked by him. In the modern game, where there's a lot of monsters, center shrines, there's a lot of items, this is super powerful, right? So it basically makes him really tanky, because things like Shredder, oh wait, let me think about this. No, attribute bonus, not Shredder, sorry. But Vorpal Blades, Rings of Power, Heart Seekers, Agi Boots, the Glyph of Warding, all these things are ignored when he's getting attacked or he attacks them. And secondly, he gains +1 Mel, goes to Mel 8, 5 temporary health, and has +1 damage on his basic attacks, and expires at the start of Asbrand's next activation. It's one of those abilities, late game, if you've got enough fate, you can keep putting this on him. He becomes a bit of a monster. In our experience, it's not easy to get him to level 3. You do need to do some work to do that, which is what we like. But this is a really nice ability to unlock at level 3. He becomes like an avatar, a dwarven avatar, and that's the idea of it. He becomes big, he's like a massive dwarf avatar. He's the king, and he's leading them to battle, so which is awesome. And then finally, avatar bonus, King's Rebuke. If Asbrand is the avatar, friendly models within 2 hexes cannot have their bound souls removed by enemy abilities. This is all these kind of soul stripping things that we have going on. They don't work. But in addition, when a friendly model with 1 or more bound souls within 2 hexes is killed, their bound souls are bound to Asbrand instead of being removed from the table. Asbrand must not be suffering the curse condition for the souls to become bound to him. This is really good if they're around him when they die. So obviously your opponent can be pushing things around and moving things around, but there's going to be a lot of occasions where they are near him, their souls are going to go to him. If he's a high level or he's full health, it's really hard to get those souls off. So it's really good. You can't soul strip around him. It's a pretty good avatar bonus. It's obviously you need to choose between that avatar bonus and Zonya's if you're going to have them both, because they're both Bruelin avatars. Obviously in the dwarf tribe, he's not the avatar, so there's no avatar bonus. That's only if he's taken in Bruelin. But honestly, Asbrand is a hero who's designed, he can work in all number of warbands. So don't, you really need to think outside the box with this guy, because he just brings so much to the table. Being able to add +1 to a stat to a friend, getting people out of trouble. He's the real deal. He's a real presence on the board. Suffers from the normal things of dwarves. He's only movement 2. He does have dash. So, once again, he's got an awesome combination with Laurie. He's very good with the Boots of Elvenkind, which make him base 3. He can go 4 with dash, which means he can charge 6. He can knock people down like a bowling ball. He's got a lot of applications. Super pumped. We really are. We can't wait to see what people do with him. He's going to hit the scene pretty hard. I'm just going to go to this awesome model of him on the throne while we take it out. Yeah, so can't wait. It's great to get another hero out. This time we haven't we had last one in Vexus, we had an assassin. We're now going back to a very tanky, versatile kit kind of hero that brings a lot, and I'm sure you'll spend, we've got so many heroes in the game now, you're going to spend a lot of time pouring through the combinations with this guy, because Asbrand has a lot of hidden combinations throughout the entire Judgement realm. Being able to add stats to someone can really lift and change the way that models work. So yeah, super pumped for him. All right, so that's it for today. It's a very quick one. Colin Pritchard is amazing. Yeah, he is really good. He's going to be, I don't know, he's going to hit the scene. He's going to be awesome. He's available from Wednesday. So essentially, after this weekend, from next weekend on, he's going to be tournament legal. We've still got, they're going to be coming thick and fast. We've got heroes coming the next 2 months. We've got a couple more avatars. We've got a second Krognar avatar coming, which is, I'll reveal right now, is a female elf, is the next Krognar avatar, which is super exciting. What else we got? We've got another Thomas avatar, which is, I reveal, is a female Minotaur. So, yep, lots of cool stuff coming. We've got a whole bunch of heroes. I think there's 3 more heroes in the books that will land, and obviously we're in the run-up to Warfare Weekend, which is super exciting. So, in other news, just quickly, if you're not sure, jump on the Discord, go to hallofeternalchampions.com to see all the rules. Asbrand's rules will be there straight after this. We do online leagues. There's vassal leagues that you can play. If your meta's quite small, you can get some really valuable practice playing on vassal. It's not the same as a table, but with the no measurement, it's very easy to play on vassal. There's also a TTS module that you can play as well. If that's your jam, it's looked after, and both vassal and TTS modules will be updated very shortly after this stream. We are doing a Champions League, which is past winners. We've been running vassal leagues. Well, we're running vassal leagues pretty much 5 or 6 years. We've run them the entire of V2. Sunny from EU has been running with Robbie, and now Kunabas has been running the NA leagues and EU leagues. We've got a Champions League, which is all the winners. There's 10 previous winners from the NA league you're getting together. So that's going to be a really good test of the meta in the lead up to Warfare Weekend. And don't forget, Warfare Weekend is our first grand tournament, which is pretty cool. So on Hall of Eternal Champions will be there soon. You can actually mark heroes that are in your collection, Hall of Eternal Champions. You can mark which ones are painted, so you can keep track of that. And very soon we'll be releasing Warband creation on Hall of Eternal Champions as well. All right, so thank you very much for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. Enjoyed the stream and love Asbrand. Start thinking about where you can put him in his warbands. He'll be available on the stores very shortly, in a couple of days. Get him, he looks amazing. Can't wait to try him out on the table with you all. Cheers, have a great day, and talk soon. Peace.